What's up, space pirates? This is your Admiral, the deliciously dank Dr. Disaster, and one of the few things that the Doctor Who franchise has had going for it in these past few years is critical acclaim, despite the fact that for most Whovians, their attitude toward the show has become decidedly jaded.
At this point, it's more like, Doctor, why bother?
Case in point, look at last year's season of Doctor Who. Over on Rotten Tomatoes, fans gave it an absolutely scathing 29%. It was completely hated by anyone who isn't interested in being preached at. But look at that critic score. They gave it a sterling 94% off of 180 reviews. Critics absolutely loved it. For cripe's sake, as you can see here, they gave Ncuti Gatwa's first season a higher rating than Christopher Eccleston's season. Journalists, of course, just love to shill for anything that Disney is involved in, and more than that, they love the sort of preachiness that they bashed us over the head with last year, so they kissed this show's ass. But the first of the reviews are starting to come in for this new season of Doctor Who, which drops in just a few days, and let me tell you that at first blush, it is looking really bad for this show. Look at the headline of this article here from The Telegraph, Doctor Who Season 2 Review, a great intro for the new companion, but with a preachy subtext. And then the byline there reads, Virata Sethu makes a strong first impression as Belinda Chandra in a tale mixing high sci-fi with toxic masculinity.
Oh boy, I gotta tell you, that sounds awful.
Or here is another article, this one from Yahoo, Doctor Who struggles to hit its stride with serviceable Season 2 opener. It really seems like this season might be taking just another leap forward in its insistence on being a political lecture rather than an entertaining show. I hope you guys are ready to do a whole lot of touching grass again this year, just like Ncuti Gatwa asked us to, because it sure seems like instead of Doctor Who, we are once again being given an unhealthy dose of Doctor.
What the hell is even that?
Alright, me hearties, make sure you hit the like button on this video, subscribe to the channel if you haven't already, and also, please consider supporting the channel by becoming a member. Audiobook of a dark fantasy novel I've written will be available for members first very soon, and there is also a space pirate cartoon that I'm working on. The thing is, I realize it's important that we not just complain about what we don't like, alternatives have to be provided, so I humbly ask that you consider becoming a member of the channel, which the daily cost of doing so is a fraction of the cost of your morning cup of coffee. But anyhow, let's talk about the reviews for this second season of Doctor Who, because they are not sounding particularly promising. To the surprise of probably nobody at all, it doesn't sound like the crew working on this show have learned a damn thing, or at least the writers haven't. Russell T Davies has a series of agendas that he wants to push into mainstream pop culture, and by golly, he's gonna do it, whether it sinks his Doctor Who show into oblivion or not. Never mind the fact that last year's Doctor Who was easily the least watched season in the history of the show, of the 60-year show. He will tell you, though, with a straight face that things are going really well as he continues to delve deeper into the progressive shit-lib madness. As evidence of this insanity, let's read a short bit from this article from The Telegraph, whose headline we read just a few minutes ago. It says here, the sci-fi favorite returns with an episode full of rockets, ray guns, and killer robots, but an underlying theme of toxic masculinity. Welcome to Planet of the Incels. Location unconfirmed, but presumably somewhere in the manosphere. It's the family-friendly slot that makes the lurch into gender politics tonally jarring. A hard-hitting Netflix drama is one thing, early evening entertainment is another. One can imagine young viewers turning to their parents and asking what species these scary-sounding incels are, and whether coercive control is a bit like a remote control. Good luck answering those, grown-ups. This stab at satire is daft, dumb, and clumsily done. Now, keep in mind that those exact same words, daft, dumb, and clumsily done, could absolutely have been aimed at the prior season. In fact, that is exactly how a lot of us described it. Maybe not word for word, but that was the gist of what we were saying. And yet this same outlet gave last year's Doctor Who season, as you can see here, on Rotten Tomatoes, they gave it a fresh score. That tells me that the culture has shifted away in this past year from this garbage to the point that critics feel less hamstrung by social pressures into calling stuff like New Doctor Who brilliant. But now let's look at what Yahoo had to say about this show's first episode in the second season. The article says, Doctor Who is back for a new season, the second with Ncuti Gatwa as lead, and with rumors running amok about the future of the show, there is a lot of attention being paid to the show's return, and a lot is said to be riding on their success, both in the UK and internationally. The new series opens with a change as Gatwa's 15th Doctor meets his newest companion, Belinda Chandra, a nurse who is whisked away to a distant star which an ex-boyfriend bought for her as a romantic gesture. Now Belinda finds herself amongst a nation being ruthlessly governed by robots, and it's up to her and the Doctor to save the day. But this review is trying not to give away too much of the plot, but here, in this part of the article, they do tell us that the show is more insufferable preachiness. They say, not a lot can be revealed about the story itself apart from the fact Belinda is kidnapped by robots to another planet, but while specifics need to be kept quiet, what feels evident in this first episode is that when showrunner Russell T Davies has a message, he'll make damn sure you know what he's trying to convey. There's no missing what Davies is criticizing in the robot revolution. It's almost impossible to do so because it is a rather direct examination of key issues in modern society. While that can be appreciated in some respects, the message is so unsubtle, it's hard to feel compelled by it either, but the sentiment and Davies' intention is certainly appreciated. Once again, when a critic is telling you that this shit is over the top, you just know that things must be really bad. They literally say it in the last review, telling us that they appreciate the sentiment, they just don't necessarily appreciate the execution. And when they've lost the critics, when a show like this has lost the critics, well, I can't say that it fills me with any kind of expectation that Doctor Who, or at least this iteration of it, will survive past this season, which suits me just fine. They need to let the Doctor rest in peace if they can't treat it with the proper respect. But I'm going to leave it there. Do you think this will become the lowest rated season in the history of the show, beating last year's numbers? Drop your thoughts into the comment section below, and we will talk there. Thanks for watching, me hearties. If you haven't already, your Admiral is inviting you to subscribe to the channel and become a part of the crew. Life as a space pirate may not be glamorous, but there's always plenty of booty.